Namaskar. Today, many people are suffering from anxiety, and it is a very big question how to overcome it, especially in the last 2 years with the coronavirus threat all over the world. So I hope some of the suggestions I have today will help you. The first thing is reach out to a friend. You know, there's a saying in English, a friend in need is a friend indeed. And when you can tell your story, you kind of separate it. You separate yourself from it. And just having someone who's giving you psychological air by just listening is so helpful. I remember when I was in Manila, I was in the office there, and 50% of my time was just letting the members just talk to me about their problems and their difficulties, and just they felt so good after that. So, you know, if you've seen the drawings of Buddha, Buddha's drawings, they've drawn him with big ears because he had to listen to the complaints of his disciples a lot. And the second takeaway is yogic breath. This is really, really important because, you know, breathing and mind are intricately connected. Sadashiva, the first yogi, he discovered this connection, and he developed this pranayama system, you know, the swanrasa system, to control the breath and deepen the concentration. So when we are doing this yogic breathing and we take a full lung capacity, you know, we get this, what is called vital energy, vital force from the air. In Sanskrit, it's called prana. And it's in everything. And that's why my master's quotation was, the force that guides the stars guides you too. So everything in the universe is having, or is every particle, every square inch is filled with this vital force and vital energy. So if we can extract it from the air, then we will be very, very strong, very healthy, and very energetic. So that's the second, is the yogic breath. And, you know, there's a well-known doctor, James Gordon, who's been using this to help patients, people that have been traumatized by war, natural calamity, displacement. And he calls it soft breathing, soft belly breathing. So this yogic breathing, and then, you know, especially that, you know, the Padahastasana, that is one of the asanas that we teach. And so you're breathing in, pausing, breathing out, pausing, breathing in, pausing, and down, you see. So you're doing all three aspects of the pranayama just in that yoga asana. That's why the yoga asanas that are taught in our channel are very, very beneficial, because of that emphasis upon the breath and the deep breathing through the deep relaxation. And then the third is when you learn your meditation, the second lesson is whereby you remember before any action that you are not the doer, that consciousness, which is within everything and everyone and within us, is the doer of everything. And we are the medium. Through our hands and legs and our mind, we do the action. But the medium, we are the medium only. So one time I was having a pretty tough time, a lot of stress, because I was in the office and a lot of work, a lot of demands. I had to see everybody's needs as the supervisor of the office and so on. And I got a little bit stressed out. So when I went to India and I met the senior monk who was there, and he said, he was very intuitive, and he asked, well, are you repeating your second lesson mantra, the one I'm talking about now here? And I thought, yeah, I think I can do it more. So when I started to use it more, and, you know, it's to be repeated before any action, because it means that we are not the doer. And so if we're not the doer, we're not the receiver of the reaction. And in this way, you develop, you're in the world, you're doing your duties, but you develop a bit of a detachment from the fruits of your labor. This is really, really important when it comes to not being stressed out with everything, not trying to manage everything and see everything to be perfect. Yeah. And then the fourth is walk in nature. Walking in nature, you know, getting that sunshine, breathing the prana from the air. And I think the happiest couple I ever met, their name was Mila and Jalek. They came, you know, as volunteers in our mass unit in South Korea. And they were joyous people all the time, smiling. And they used to walk their whole exercise and enjoyment came from being in nature. They told me that this is our medicine. And I knew a daytime stock trader. That is a very stressful occupation. But he would go 30 minutes every morning for a walk. And that was how he kept his more or less mental balance in the midst of that very, very stressful occupation that he had. And the fifth takeaway is be a stress-resistant personality. There are 3 C's to the stress-resistant personality. The first is that they see life as a challenge, that problems that come are not problems in that sense, but they're challenges to be met and overcome. And the second is they're committed to finding solutions. So that's a constructive thinking, optimism. My master told one of the senior monks, he shares this a lot. He says, for the optimist, success is at their doorstep, is at their feet. And for the pessimist, steps run out the front. The success runs out the front door. Yeah. So this is a very beautiful quotation that I remember. So so seeing the bright side and finding the creative solution to that challenge. And the third is commitment to a higher goal. And I remember one person who I met in 1991 in South Africa. He was a spiritual volunteer, just had arrived, very young guy, 24 years old. And, needed a bit of encouragement and, kind of getting into life, as it were. I gave him a piece of white chocolate. We're allowed to take white chocolate. It's not stimulating like black chocolate, dark chocolate. And he really liked that. And I gave him some words of encouragement as an elder brother. Then we parted ways. I had to, I was assigned in other places, and he continued his work there in South Africa. And when I came back in 2008, I visited him, and he was a multimillionaire. And he had the second biggest business school, South Africa. And I could see he was very, very, he really had imbibed the 3 C's in his life. He was never allowed any challenge to overcome him. He saw all problems as challenges to be overcome and met. He would do 30 minutes power exercise every day because the scientific research shows there's a tremendous benefit to doing this kind of physical activity every day for at least 30 minutes. It releases these happy hormones, norepinephrine and serotonin. So he would do that every day. And then this idea of committing to a higher goal, just affirmations. Every day he'll repeat certain affirmations every day and every way of getting better and better, for example. So with this kind of attitude to life, and he was a 3C personality, he could adjust to all the stresses of life, and he was anxiety free for the most part, and he built up a huge business. And he started to expand his business school into Nigeria, India, and I became his wellness consultant actually for a while. So, and another beautiful story I'd like to share with you as an example of this building a stress-resistant personality is the story of the 2 frogs. So they're hopping along one day, and in their hopping, they jumped into a bucket of milk. So they were swimming, and they're getting tired because they're swimming all the time in that bucket of milk, and the big frog is getting tired. He says to the little frog, "Hey, how long we can go on like this? This is really tough going, The little frog said, No, just keep going. Something's going to come. Some solution will come. Just take it positively. There's something good out of this is going to happen." So they're continuing to swim, and finally the big frog says, "I give up. I can't continue this anymore." So, and having said so, he's to the bottom. But the little guy is still going. He's paddling his little legs furiously, and lo and behold, a little piece of butter formed under his feet. He jumped out of the bucket, and he was free. So this is the beautiful story to remember, and to face life in this way with a optimistic outlook, commitment to change, and a creative thinking. This will help us. The yogic breath is another great walk in nature, and getting a friend, because that will help us to get that thing out that's bothering us most, and they'll listen to us. That's a real friend. It's like that. And remembering that we are not the doer. We are the medium through which that loving supreme consciousness, our goal, the goal of all beings, is the guiding force behind everything. Good luck and share your comments in the chat so we can learn from each other about this important topic. Thank you. Namaskar.